to be.
New hairdo.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like it.
new hairdo, I said.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
We're live, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Ready, Rachel? All right, this is the Painesville Township Board of Zoning Appeals. We'll get started here. Before we do, we have a tradition where we stand and we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you'd like to join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, Rachel, if you would do the roll call of the board, please.
Manzara,
Here.
Ken,
Yeah, here.
Dave Lindros,
Here.
Randy, who's not here, and Chairman.
Here. Let the record show that we do have a quorum for this evening's meeting. And at this time, I'm going to have our law director talk to the people in attendance and explain why, if you're going to testify, she needs to swear you in, and she will swear you in.
Everybody who testifies tonight or gives the board information, whatever their decisions are, could be appealed to the common pleas court. So that's why it's important that you swear to tell the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And as you come up, please state your name, your address, and then I will swear you in.
Okay, you'll swear them individually,
Yeah, let's
correct?
do that.
Okay. All right, so at this time, Rachel, if you would read case 2023-0015 BZA.
Okay, applicant 1522 Menor LLC submitted a variance application for property located at 1518 Menor Avenue. The request is to allow a 100% expansion of a legal non-conforming freestanding pole sign in violation of section 7.05, which requires that a legal non-conforming sign shall not be altered or enlarged more than 10%.
Okay, if I know error in our zoning inspector requiring a variance, your time to
Thank you.
Tell us what you
I
wanna
know your
do.
time is valuable too. My name is Jay Romer. I'm one of the owners of the shopping center at 1522 through 1518 Manor Avenue.
Before you go any further, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do swear.
thank you.
Yeah, sure. Sorry about that. Do you want me to talk into this to make the record or?
I think you're fine.
Okay, thanks. We have owned the shopping center for a little over a year now. There's an O'Reilly Auto Parts there, and there was a former bank branch in line there that I think has been vacant for quite some time, maybe over 10 years. We worked with the county in the township to subdivide the vacant space. And on the eastern side of the building, there will be a Charlie's sub restaurant. They also do wings. We actually have another tenant that we've signed up that has an ice cream themed situation for the middle space. So we'll be 100% occupied within a year, which we're happy about. One of the things that we really didn't think through too well, may I approach the?
Sure.
Yeah. One of the things, to be quite honest with you, that we didn't do a really good job of when we were acquiring the property was to get kind of an idea of how the signage might lay out. And what we learned was that the signage is now it's legal, but it's non-conforming to what the signage requirements are. And so now that we've got a multi-tenant building there, we wanted to see what we could do to keep our anchor tenant O'Reilly's sign that they actually own, the cabinet for the sign, and see if we could expand it so that we could provide signage for our additional two tenants. We had a couple of different design ideas, but I met with the staff in advance before we went through any more design thoughts and went through a few different ideas. And what we're asking the board to take a look at today and to approve, actually everybody's got that, I think. So what we're trying to do is we're just trying to add 2 more spaces. And in talking with the staff, they thought that the best route to go would be to not add another sign, which would just clutter up more of the frontage there. And then also to add it so that the signage isn't going too high, which was something that it seemed like the staff didn't want, and simultaneously not go all the way down to the ground so that there was some kind of visibility for the drivers, because we've got 2 curb cuts east and west on Manor Avenue. So what we came up with in collaboration with the staff was to just add 1 more cabinet underneath the existing cabinet. It'll go around where the pole is. And so if you can see, it's kind of hard to see in the smaller like photograph area. You can see that we'll still have a little pole. It's just 1 more cabinet. It's underneath, and then trolleys will have their signage there, and then we'll have a new tenant, and that'll go on the bottom. So they'll have about 50% of the sign area that O'Reilly's presently have. We think that this is the best solution for a multi-tenant sign for the time being, but we also recognize that the present sign can't be enlarged more than 10%, which is why we're here before the board tonight.
What is the when you've got the additional 60 inches below? What's your clearance going to be from the bottom of where it says new tenant to the ground?
I don't know the answer to that, but I would guess at least 3 feet.
So somebody sitting in a car could see under it.
I think so, or at least that they. So I'm trying to put myself in that position because I'm coming and going from the shopping center myself quite often. I think at least if you're driving, you're not really paying attention. You're still going to get a little bit of visibility, out of the periphery of your vision, whether you're coming or going.
Okay.
And I think that was definitely one of the elements that we talked to the staff about. We could go on top,
Yeah.
but this just seemed to be within the confines of what it seemed like my preferable, the best solution, and also not going all the way down so that there's kind of a blockage there. I would add that it's kind of an unusual situation. So we've got a grass strip, so we've got the street, the sidewalk, a grass strip, and then this sign is actually in the parking field. So 1 whole parking space is out. There's a curb that's around it that has some gravel underneath it, so that at least while we've owned it, nobody's run into it. We've had people run through our buildings, though. We can't control that.
Somebody got the sign at Chardon Oil, and they even had bollards up there, and they smashed those, and then they smashed the sign up. Woman said they just kept running into it.
We've had shopping centers in Cleveland where we've had to put bollards along the entire front of it because people would steal trucks and vans and then take the stolen van and then drive it into the building so that they could get whatever's on the inside. So it's not very aesthetically pleasing, but
The fact that there's a sidewalk in that grass strip there, that's at least a car length, I would think there.
Yeah, so I guess, I'm sorry, I didn't get to finish my point, which is to say that my hunch is that
I wasn't even looking up there.
if your 20-foot car is sitting here while you're waiting to make a turn, or you're coming in, I think still having that much area underneath, I don't think people are going to be blindsided when they're coming either way, because there's that gap under there.
One thing you said when you started, you said that you were gonna be on the east side of that building with Charlie's?
Yeah, so,
Because
here,
we're looking at
let me
the
do
west
this.
side of the building,
Yeah, let me
here?
do this if it's okay, if I can approach again.
Sure.
I've got a couple, so we took off the drive-through canopy. And so this is a better photograph, I think, of what it's more looking like right now. So, said another way, this is all gone.
Right.
And this storefront area here has now got a new double door in it.
Right.
So we've got a double door there. That's about 1,100 square feet, and this is about 1,650 square feet on this side. And this whole thing is gone right
Mhm.
now. So
So the double door on the right side, as I'm looking at the picture, is gonna be the new tenant?
yeah, and that
Okay.
storefront space, I'm not sure. Yeah, that storefront space is already in. Here's a photograph of that.
Okay.
I've monopolized the entire agenda since we'll be talking to you guys about something else. Afterwards. But so you can see, there's really not much, to the side.
Yeah. Okay. This is probably a dumb question by me, but what's the non-conforming part of this?
The sign itself, we no longer permit pole signs. They have to be monument type signs.
Okay.
And the height of the sign and the setback of the sign, all three of those are non-conforming. Jay had initially discussed changing it to a monument type sign, but then it would be exceeding the height and the setback requirement. And because the current sign is owned by O'Reilly's, the intention was that it needed to remain. And so in order to add signage for the remaining two tenants, prospective tenants, he had to add to the existing.
Okay.
So, and
If I recall, I think
so he would have either been applying for this one variance or two for the height and for the setback.
if I recall, when they did the Route 20 project, everyone went to non-conforming,
Yeah.
pretty much up
Yes.
and down here.
Because of
There was no way to
setbacks.
be conforming.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
I mean,
poor guy at
I think this
Ohio
sign in
West,
relation to
it's
most of the
inside
other
very
signs
big.
on Menor Avenue is actually pretty tame.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else to speak in favor of the variance? Anyone to speak against? Any comments from the board, questions from the board? Someone like to make a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve variance 2023-0015 BZA as requested.
I'll second.
All right, Rachel, motion's been made and seconded.
Okay, Dave Lindros,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Dave Anzera,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes. Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
You
Appreciate
might,
it.
you might just want to stay
I
there.
think I'm just going to stick around for the other two. I don't want to not go in order, but I would just add this. So Charlie's has asked us for outdoor seating, and it's so tight. There's almost no space for it other than.
She has to read the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll go ahead. Go ahead, Rachel, and read 2023-0016 BCA.
Okay, applicant 1522 Menor LLC submitted a variance application for property located at 1518 Menor Avenue. The request is to allow removal of a landscape strip located between the building and the paved walking surface in violation of section 35.04A, which requires that a 5-foot landscape strip shall be required between all building walls and paved areas.
Okay, again, I find no error in our zoning inspector requiring a variance. So now, if you want to tell us.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No
Yeah,
problem.
so here's what used to be there, which is this strip, and it kind of shows it here. I'm sorry, I only have a couple of those.
That's all right.
So right now, because of where the doors and stuff are, actually all this is gone. We can replant it. We're gonna keep it, we're gonna keep the shrubbery for the other tenant and for O'Reilly. But these guys are asking for outdoor seating right here. It's only about 14 feet, so they're only going to be able to fit in two-seater table and chair, so 4 total outside. This is something that they would like. It's a requirement actually in our lease, so we're kind of under the gun a little bit. I don't know if we could amend it or make some other concession. I know how miserable it is here in the winter, and but I just don't see many people sitting out here eating their sub sandwich. It does have the southern exposure, so you are going to get the sun on a good day. But our theory of the case is, if you will allow us to have outdoor seating there for a grand total of 4 seats, because that's all that physically can fit there, then we would like to substitute having this landscape requirement barrier there and mitigate that by putting a barrier of planters kind of bordering the outdoor seating area.
It's on the last
So,
page.
right. So here's an idea from Lakewood. So we would do a couple of planters that would be parallel to Menor Avenue, and one planter that would be perpendicular to Menor Avenue to kind of just square it off. And this is the kind. Oh yeah, you got that. Sorry, guys.
Would these be permanent tables?
No, they didn't. They're gonna have to bring them in the winter.
Sure. Or on a, yeah.
Yeah, because it's just not going to work for keeping the snow clear and whatnot. So I really see this as a kind of a seasonal thing. But our business is to try to make our tenants happy so that we can have a nice relationship. This is something that they feel as though is going to be a benefit to their restaurant and for their sales. Whether it is or not, that's not for me to second guess. My job is to see if I can't navigate what your rules are, to see if you guys would allow for us to accommodate for that. And so we're really replacing a very small area of what will be landscaping again. In fact, you guys can see it here on one of these photos where there's some construction activity right here. There's literally, this area right here is torn up so that they can get their utilities out to the road. This little area is all we're talking about doing, and then just bordering it with those planters.
Yeah, okay.
So the planters would be on the Menor Avenue side of where the tables are.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And we talked about different ways to do that. We talked about putting a little fence there, but then it's not really giving the landscape softening that was the purpose of the ordinance in the first place. So, there's a lot less maintenance on a fence than there is on plants in a planter. But I do think that this is something that is mitigating the variance request in terms of the landscaping. We're just moving it literally 10 feet south.
As far as maintenance of that, who would be responsible for that? The store
The
manager?
landlord, our company.
Your company?
Yeah, so we're already,
Talking about watering the things?
yeah, that's right, and keeping it alive.
Trash? Would they provide a trash container out there for people who are sitting there?
That's a good question. I don't have the answer to that question right now. I would have to get back to you. I'm not sure.
You'd like to think people are good and respectful, but you want to think about somebody eating and throwing their paper and just taking off.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Well, and we have the same concern, obviously, with O'Reilly. Somebody will show up. They're just like, okay, I just need a quart of oil, and there's a mess and a problem there. We really haven't had any problem with that. Riley Sweeping was acquired by another company, and I'm spacing out now because I think we just still pay Riley Sweeping. But we have a sweeping service. They pick up trash, and we already have another receptacle there, just not right where I'm talking about.
I would say as long as our people know who to call if there's a problem.
Yeah, it's true. I'm a foreigner. I'm from, the west side, but we are a local owner. We're not, in California or New York or something. And, God knows when there's a truck parked there for 4 days, I get a call from, Harley or Sean, and we try to sort it out. So I do feel as though, and let me just add that in working through what we're presenting to you all tonight, we did come to, the staff first to try to, noodle through what seemed to be the least onerous from a regulatory standpoint and the most practical, from a utilization standpoint.
Now, Charlie's, refresh my memory. Is this strictly drive-through, or there's inside seating?
No, they have inside seating too.
Okay.
Yeah, and I cannot recall now. Probably 24.
Okay.
I've eaten at 2 on the west side, and I think a lot of people stay in, but I think they're going to make more sale. My view, just from a real estate standpoint, everything that's food and drive-through, they make their sales.
Mm-hmm. They know what they're doing. Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so. I mean, it's kind of a 2-for-1. I mean, there's no need for the landscaping thing if we can't do the outdoor seating.
Right.
I'm not sure which way you want to go first, but
Well, let's. Yeah, I maybe these are kind of backwards
I
here.
want to do 17 first.
Yeah. All right.
so one's I guess a
let's
conditional
put
use and the
16
other.
aside right now. And
Sure.
Rachel, if you go ahead and enter in the record 2023-0017 BZA. Read that one.
Okay. Applicant 1522 Mentor LLC submitted a conditional use application for property located at 1518 Mentor Avenue. The request is for a outdoor seating and dining space.
Okay. I see no error in requiring a variance for that. And board, I think we can use the testimony he's already presented for what his reasons are for this one, unless someone else has any other questions.
I just had, so our zoning, I think you're fine here, but I think our zoning resolution requires there's a maximum number of outdoor seats you can have.
Sure.
It's based on the number of indoors. So you said you have 24 roughly?
Don't quote me on that, but what I can commit to is we're not going to do any more than two person tables. So that's 4 total. I would live. I mean, there's just not enough physical space there to do anything more than that.
Yeah, as I looked, that's the only question I had, and I think you're fine because it says 25. You can't have more than 25% of outdoor seating
Okay.
of what you have indoors, so you're well within that.
Yeah, and if you wanted to, collar this or put some kind of
So if there's 7
stipulation on
people
it.
there, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I know that Sean's going to be after me. So.
Okay.
And as you can see, he's much bigger than me.
All right. Anything else to add?
No, sir.
Is there anyone to speak against the request for case 16 and 17? All right, let's act on 16 first, since that's the way they were read and the way they're entered. Someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the variance 2023-0016.
A question though on that one.
Sure.
Do we need to have that modified, stating that they're going to put the planters in?
And it's on the drawing.
Well, it is, but it's not in the request. Is it?
Can we, yeah, I don't know, on a variance, this isn't a conditional use permit. Can we add that to the
You can add that to the requirement.
Okay, let's just do it. So that they're going to we're going to add that to the requirement that the part of the variance that they're going to add the planters.
Yeah, the planters as shown on A1 drawing.
Yeah. Good point. Okay, so the motion's been made, adding the planters. Someone want to second it?
I'll second it.
Okay, Dave Lindros,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Dave Anzera,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes. Okay. Now, if someone would like to make a motion on 2023-0017 BZA.
Should we, Mr. Chairman, this is a conditional use permit, so do we?
Oh,
need to
yeah, that's
specify-
right. This is a use permit. I'm sorry.
So part of that would be the length of time.
Yeah. Well, you can add that to the motion.
Our lease-
Normally, we
our-
do 1 to 5 years on a conditional use permit.
Yeah, we have a conditional use, I think, actually for the drive-through. So last time we were here, we asked for 5 years. We have a 10-year lease with this tenant. So we'll just come back when that expires to, I don't know I don't know your process, if it's administrative or there's something else, but yeah, we'll come back and at the 5-year period, if you would grant us that.
And since this is a conditional use permit, I think we should add a condition that the planters be maintained and the probably add a trash container out there, so it will keep people from just dropping and leaving, or leaving it on the table and walking away and blowing away or something.
And that was for 2 tables and 4 chairs total.
Yes, sir.
Do we need to specify operating hours?
Yeah, what are the operating hours of this?
I don't know the answer to that, truthfully. I seem to recall that they're open from like 10 to 10 or 10 to 9, something like that.
Is that gonna be lit at that point right there? Well lit at that corner?
Yeah, so right now what we have are 3 parking lot pole lights, and then we have 3, sorry, I'm losing my words. I think they call them outdoor security lighting that's through the power company. So it's a thing on the pole. It's about this big. That's on the power pole. So
Over here?
yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So we've got 1 there, and then 2 on Manor Avenue that are on the angled to the parking field. Well,
Just so your client knows that with a conditional use permit, if we start seeing violations there,
yeah, they can yank it.
that can be pulled.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah,
And I'm not expecting it, you know.
I don't
At
think
East
this is going to
Cleveland
be
here.
an issue, but once again, I'm sure if any of us are getting close to the edge, we'll hear about it and take corrective action.
Yes.
If it helps, I just pulled the meeting minutes up for when they were here for the drive-through, and the hours of operation were Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
Okay, someone want to make a motion? With conditions?
Okay, I'll take a stab at it. I'd like to make a motion to approve a conditional use permit for 0017 with the following conditions. Operating hours will be 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Sunday. There'll be a maximum of 2 tables and 4 chairs in the outside area. The planters that were covered in the other variants will be maintained by the owner, and there'll be a trash container placed in a convenient location.
Sure.
For the patrons.
And this for a
And
period
for
of,
a period of 5 years.
anything else from the board? Someone like to second?
I'll second it.
Okay, and that's for hours of operation, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Sunday. A maximum of 2 tables with 4 chairs for the outside area. The planters be maintained, trash bins added for a 5-year term. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Ken?
Yes.
Randy, who's not here. Dave Anzera?
Yes.
Dave Lindros?
Yes.
And Chairman.
Yes. Okay,
Thanks all.
good luck.
Appreciate your time.
Now,
Good luck.
when do you expect it to start going with all this? real soon?
So their opening is somewhere between Halloween and I think like the 10th of November. They had a couple of delays.
Let me just go over the reason I'm asking.
Uh-huh.
These normally don't become official until the minutes are voted on at our next meeting, but we could, and this is something we're going to talk about our procedure to expedite this. We can journalize these, which
Yeah,
make them
there's
effective.
there's no hurry. Whenever you're, I mean, these guys aren't going to need any of this until 6 weeks from now.
It would be our next meeting.
Jay, what about your signage?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I guess
Let's
actually,
just go ahead.
if you
Can we
guys
make,
get-
can
I
we
mean,
make
I
a
know what
motion to
the vote
journalize
is.
all
It's gonna
three
take-
at once? All right. Why doesn't someone make a motion to journalize all three decisions at one time?
Thanks,
Just
Harley.
it's making it easier on you.
I appreciate that.
I'll make a motion to journalize 0016, 0017, 0018,
No, 5.
Five,
or 15.
5, 6, 7.
5, 6, 7, sorry.
Motion's been made.
Ken?
Yes.
Randy's not here. Dave Lindros?
Yes.
Dave Anzera?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Okay.
Thanks very much,
Thanks
everyone.
for
really
your
appreciate it.
diligence here. You did
Harley,
a
thank
nice
you very much. I
presentation.
really appreciate your help.
You're
Hope you all
welcome,
have a
Jay.
nice evening.
Okay.
You too, thank you.
Oh, yep. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good
Okay.
night.
Okay, Rachel, if you would please read 2023-0018 BZA.
Okay, applicant Village Developers LTD submitted a conditional use application for property located at 2163 Menor Avenue. The request is for an indoor children's gymnasium.
Okay, again, I find no error in our zoning inspector requiring a conditional use permit. We'll have to change the minutes. I mentioned variance for the last one. It was a conditional use permit. Okay, so if you could introduce yourself, be sworn, and let us know what you have in mind.
My name is Angela Panzarella. I live at 1554 Briarwood Lane, Painesville. And I'm hoping to open a play therapy gym for children
Do
of
you
all
s-
abilities.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I swear.
All right, so go ahead.
So my brother and I purchased a franchise called We Rock the Spectrum, and it's a play therapy gym for kids of all abilities. So we're hoping to open one in Painesville Township, where on Menor Avenue, where Tom Reeby's the owner. The building where Hibachi is and B Rocks. We would be taking over Neptune Medical Space.
That's the vitriol.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And just kind of tell us what's involved with that. Hours that you're doing. We have a picture here. Is how it's supervised and who some of your clients are.
Most of our clients will be children from like toddlers to 12-year-old. The parents will always accompany the children. We would probably have 2 or 3 employees at a time, and the hours would typically be from like 10 to 6. Unless there's a birthday party or, a special event, somebody wanted to like rent out the space. And it's just going to have a variety of different equipment for kids. Especially, the whole focus is where kids with disabilities can also have fun along with their typical, siblings or peers. And that's the whole concept behind it. Because I also have a child with my middle son was born with a heart condition. So we've always had to kind of accommodate him. So this is when I went to, there's actually a location in Mayfield. When we went there, I thought it was like, the perfect place for us because having 3 boys and one with some, special needs, it was, the kids all had a great time and it was comfortable and, they did such a great job. And by the franchisor, they try to keep it at, we have to follow a certain protocol and expectations.
Mm-hmm. Now, do people come on? Do they make appointments to come, or is it walk-in?
So they have open play gym times, and then they also have where sometimes like if they have an event or like let's say a field trip, they have it rented from like 2 to 4. But otherwise, at certain times they have open play gyms, and you could even come like as a just you're coming by for the first time, or you have what they call a membership. You pay so much, and then you could probably come 10 out of, pay $100, and then you get 10 visits or something like that.
So if you had a special event, would it be within that 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. window, or would you need more?
So it's Monday through Sunday. So depending on what that person or that customer needed. Let's say somebody really wanted to do something Sunday in between that time, we would accommodate it. If it's something that they need to do Friday nights, usually, during the week it's hard, but a Friday night maybe from 7 to 9, I think is a possibility.
The question, because it all goes back to when we do this, we have to specify hours of operation. So,
Right.
So would it be safe to assume that by say 10 p.m. you wouldn't be operating any
Oh,
later than?
No, I definitely,
Because we don't want to limit you too much, because then you can't.
Right. But I also, with it caters for us, younger children up to 12. So, a lot of times parents want to get their kids to bed.
Right.
So, that's where I thought was, even good for me, being a mother, I can kind of, work with that schedule if I need to.
So would you like to expand your hours like from 10 to 9 p.m. or?
I guess overall, yeah, that would be a good idea. Primarily, like I said, they're the franchise. It's like 10 to 6, and then if I can have it till 9, that would probably be the best option. And honestly, with B-Rocks being there, the crowd in the evenings could be a little bit different. So I kind of would like to get
Get them out.
yeah. Nothing against B-Rocks. I think it's fine, but it's just a different crowd.
Yeah.
Would you be servicing would they schools or anything? Would there be any kind of busing of
No, but some of the We Rock the Spectrum gyms do have they contract out with certain therapists, either physical therapists or art therapists, and they might have certain appointments when it comes to that. But other than that, there's no other transportation needed. And like I said, it would always be parents or whoever, guardians that would bring the children.
What about the maximum number that you think with your staffing, which we don't know what your staffing quite is yet? What's the maximum number of children that you could facilitate in there?
You know what? I think it goes by, what I've been told, looking at the space and speaking with the architect, I have to go by what the fire department, I think, allows, right? Is that, because I'm going to have...
I mean, you could probably put a lot more people in there from the fire code than you could. Let's say you've got 50 kids running around and one person trying to supervise them.
Right. Yeah. So I would say probably, I think if there's 50 kids, I would definitely say there would be 3 of us there at that point. One at the front desk.
Do these people require a ratio?
No, they don't. But like I said, the space is 4,600 square feet. A lot of that space will be occupied by the equipment. So when I did go to the Mayfield location, there was probably about 30, 35 kids. And she had 2 employees at the time, herself and one other employee.
Is there any training required of the staff? Medical training?
No, but that's something that we do suggest. I'm even taking a program through We Rock the Spectrum, learning about with children with autism and different disabilities to kind of become more familiar with that. And I think most of the staff that I would find would kind of be experienced with children some ways.
Mm-hmm. I get what it's coming down to for me is it seems like there should be, for a staff person to get in there with all these children, there should have to be some sort of prerequisite or some standards that they have to meet. Are they interviewed?
Oh yeah, we do plan on interviewing them and doing a background check. I am talking to a payroll company that will have an HR, and they will have background checks, because again, you're dealing with children. Mm-hmm. So that is something that is not going to be, that's going to be, either you can get a job there or you can't. That's going to make the difference. The CPR and everything like that, that's something we can suggest and recommend, but we'll have to see.
Okay.
Yeah, I would imagine that being a franchisee, they would have certain protocols
Yeah,
that you
that's
need to
what I would
follow
think.
in terms
Well,
of
they,
standards.
yeah, they do, and they do like weekly check-ins. I'm kind of even doing that now, so I'm still kind of in the beginning stages of everything, and that's where where it comes down to how many employees I need.
Okay.
And then I think they'll have a recommendation like if you have so many kids, in the building, you should have this many employees.
I think your insurance company will also have some
Right,
requirements.
right, yeah. But I help out at St. Gabe's School, and like we help out, and we are paid employees, but technically volunteers, and we didn't have to do any type of background checks or even. Well, we did do background checks. I'm sorry, we did the Virtus training, but we didn't have to know CPR or anything like that. It was up to the individual if they wanted to do it.
Okay.
And I think it'll be a good asset to the community. We've, definitely got some good feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it will be, busy if you give us the opportunity.
What's the flooring consist of?
So I think it's going to be like the floor mats you normally see in gyms, the foam,
Okay.
and that also, like you said, with insurance, is going to kind of, take a good look at that. So whatever we need to do to make it safer for the kids, because that's the most important part, the children's safety.
Do you have a target date that you like to be in operation?
Well, it was November, but we had the architect look at the space, and he said that it might take till January. So it all depends on, he said, how fast he can get, his drawings, and then if I go with the contractor of the landlord, how long it takes them, and so on. So my target date would be like mid to late November, but they said, don't be surprised if it's not January. So it depends on who you talk to. That's the franchise said 2-3 months. The architect said, this many months. The landlord said something else. So,
Well, it'd be good. You'd be open in the winter. Kids can go have somewhere
Right.
indoors to play.
Yeah.
to
And there
keep them-
really isn't that much out here for children. So that's, one of the things that, like, when I did go to the Mayfield location, and they're doing really well. She's doing phenomenal. And they're popping up everywhere. There's one in Hudson coming up, and that's why I thought we needed something in this area.
What's the name of the parent company again? That
We Rock the Spectrum. And then that's the thing we'll be doing business as, but they had asked us, like when we came up with the LLC, they wanted us to come up with the name, and we came up with Heart of Gold Play Gym. And that's, my middle son has a heart condition, so he.
So that's the name of your place?
It'll be Heart of Gold Play Gym, but doing business as We Rock the Spectrum because of it being a franchise.
So the signage is gonna say what?
We Rock the Spectrum.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the name will sell it. She, the owner is out of California, and she's doing quite well with these, franchises.
okay. Anything else?
No.
Anyone to speak against the request? Any other questions from the board? Probably just take us a minute here to get the conditions
Okay.
that we want to look at.
Okay.
I think the main one is that they adhere to what
Yeah.
all the requirements.
And just to clarify, so the hours, you'd be comfortable 10 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Correct.
Monday through Sunday?
Correct. And well, I would say maybe 9 a.m. if staff can go in earlier, but the opening wouldn't be till 10.
So 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
I think that would be best. Yeah.
Yeah, again, like we're just want to make sure you have the flexibility
Mhm.
to do
Okay.
different things.
Yeah, it sounds good to me. And I'm a little nervous. I haven't spoken in front of people in a long time. So.
You're doing great. Yeah.
We're a tough crew here.
Yeah.
And we, again, this being a conditional use permit, we have to put an amount of time on it. So we'd be looking like the previous one, we said 5 years, conditional use permit. Would you be comfortable? We have the ability to go 1 to 5 years. So
5 years would be great. That is a potential lease agreement also.
Well, when someone's ready, if they'd like to make a proposal here.
Okay, I'll try this one too.
All right,
Right.
you do
All
so
right.
good at
Well, we'll
this.
see. Okay, like
I thought I was giving you the glory there.
we do it as a team effort here. Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to approve a conditional use permit for 0018 for a term of 5 years with the following conditions. Operating hours would be 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Sunday. And you would follow all the required protocols of the franchisee and any other applicable requirements, local, state, relative to safety protocol. and
Correct.
you-
Right.
all the licensing requirements that would go with operating a business like this.
Right.
If I'm missing anything.
That pretty much covers it, the second one.
Follow franchise
Protocol.
protocols. Is that
State and local.
state and local?
Local fire department and that.
And local regulations.
Safety regulations, I believe. is
Right.
what-
Would they have to post an insurance thing for something like this with the township?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm assuming that We Rock the Spectrum would make sure that you have insurance of some
Oh,
sort.
right. Oh, yeah.
Now you said to 12 years old, but are like 18-year-olds allowed? Because I've got a friend that has a child that is, I mean, probably like a 5-year-old, but she's 18.
Right. They are welcome. I just know that there are some older kids for some of the equipment. They might not be able to because of weight requirements. But there is going to be an area where I've actually learned from the Mayfield location the things I could probably do to make it a little bit better. And she has a great gym. But there is going to be stuff that does cater to that. Because you're right. There are some kids that, just because they're a certain age doesn't mean,
Right.
they don't like the stuff. So, yeah, that.
Because you're right. There's not a lot of places out there like.
No. So I'm hoping to get, good connections with the schools and then the CARES program in Menard too. And
Okay.
just let them know that, we're kind of here and we could accommodate them in any way we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Make it fun for them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so a motion's been made. You want to read it back before we second it?
Okay, hours of operation are 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Sunday for a 5-year term, and to follow the franchise protocols, state and local safety regulations. Sir,
Okay.
is that it? Okay.
Someone want a second? Dave's.
I'll second
Motion.
as
All
we
right.
go from all.
Okay, Randy's not here. Dave and Zara,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Dave Lindros,
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And again, I'm going to ask you, is this something you want to get started on right away?
I would like to. I think yes, that would be the best.
All right, let's just go ahead and make a motion to journalize.
Yeah, that way I have all the information. I can move forward.
I'll make a motion to journalize conditional use permit 2023-0018.
I will second.
Okay, Dave and Zara,
Yes.
Dave Lindros.
Yes.
Randy's not here. Ken
Yes.
and Chairman.
Yes. Well, good luck.
Well,
Good luck.
thank you.
Yeah.
Be a
Thanks.
nice,
Sounds like a
it'll
great
be a
thing.
nice
thank
addition to
you.
the township here.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. See, that wasn't that bad, was it?
I don't know. A couple times I might pass out, but I think I did all right.
All right, let's make a motion to close the public hearing now. And we'll move on.
do I still sit or?
No, you're good. You can go do whatever you want.
You too.
Thanks, you too.
You're welcome.
I'll move that we close the public hearing.
second.
Rachel? Okay, Ken,
Yes.
Dave and Zara,
Yes.
Randy's not here, Dave Lindros?
Yep.
And Chairman.
Yes. Okay. All right, we'll open the regular meeting now. Does anyone have any questions or objections to the minutes the way they've been submitted? Our secretary just does such a good job with these minutes anymore, I'll tell you. All right, with no objections there, let the minutes be entered as submitted into the record. Old business. We're gonna talk about, I saw your email and I think that's a good idea. I just need to find a way, let's say we have 10 cases or 8 cases and the first person, we want to journalize theirs, would they have to stay around? What would be the best way to
I mean, they
facilitate
don't
that?
have to actually stay because they come a couple days later to get the paperwork from you guys, Sean and Harley.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they wouldn't
I
necessarily.
guess we could say something
they
unless you
wouldn't
hear
get-
other word,
Yeah.
unless you hear otherwise, your case has been journalized.
Right. Right.
Okay. What's the board feel about that?
It would at least streamline it a little bit. That way, you'd be doing it in a group rather than each case. But like, I don't know how much time that actually.
Mm-hmm.
I
think that's-
honestly like it the way it is,
You do?
that we do them individually.
Okay.
And mainly because when we do get the oddball cases where we don't necessarily want to journalize them,
Right.
I think that'll make that more
It's not
cumbersome.
inconvenient for me as chairman, I don't think, and for you as board members.
I mean, most of the time we're dealing with
A couple
2 to
of
5
cases.
cases.
All right, let's just leave it go for now.
Okay.
Okay. That was easy on the old business. Any new business? When's our next meeting scheduled?
October.
October 10th.
Thank you. Yes.
I think I'm gonna be here, Dave, believe it or not.
Again?
Okay. We're doing it, okay, with that, nothing else, we'll just adjourn. But I don't think we need the motion to adjourn, do we? Do we need a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
All right, make a motion to
After
adjourn.
last meeting.
Make a motion.
I'll just do a motion for everything.